Sullivan. We'll have Coach make his opening statement, and we'll take some questions for the student athletes first, followed by questions for Coach. So, Coach, at this time, go ahead and make your opening statement.
Yeah, just what a great atmosphere. It's what we talked about getting into for 10 months, and we had the opportunity in it. Gosh, our guys competed at, I thought, the highest level in all regards. I could go through a zillion individuals that made that collectively, and we did everything, just didn't get the last out. It's just the nature of the beast, and so as unfortunate as that is, we have to stay connected as a team. That's what's allowed us to be in the positions in which we are. I know guys like this are going to do it, and it should hurt. Obviously, everybody has put everything into it that they can, and you have victory in your grasp. It's really tough, but you know what? Now it just means we have a lot more baseball to play starting tomorrow. So with that said, whatever you guys have for questions.
Thanks, Coach. Let's start with the student athletes. We'll start with Michael right in the middle here.
William, that throw at first, what was your view of that play with the 2 outs from short?
I thought I could get there, and I wasn't able to.
Front row, Max.
Just as a team, you guys had 4 errors tonight. How do you guys, just rebound, knowing you have, potentially 2 games to try to continue your season tomorrow?
We've got to play better defense.
Yeah, I think we just got to clean it up. I mean, this is the game we wanted all year. We had it in our hands, and we let it slip away. So now we've been there. So tomorrow, if it happens again, like we've been here before, we'll get it done.
Other questions for Kole or William? Front row, Drew on the left.
Both guys, you guys just swung the bats really well both games. Just talk about your offensive approach, and you were able to have a lot of success against McMillan.
Cole, go ahead and start us off with that.
Yeah, I mean, really, I'm just trying to get on base, see pitches up, and put good swings on it, and I was able to do that. So that's all I was really trying to do.
William?
Just been trying to shrink the zone, and stay within myself and let my ability play.
Any other questions for either student athlete? All right, thank you. You two are dismissed. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll go ahead and take questions for Coach. We'll start in the front row right here with Max.
Kind of same question. You guys had 4 errors, 10 walks. What do you take away from a performance like this?
Yeah, some of the walks don't bother me so much. I mean, Ross had walks, but I'm not sure, I guess, what people knew. He had a finger completely rip on the top side of his nail, so his command was zilch, not by any fault of his own. It's just, so those don't bother me. Some of them are situational in nature, so that I don't care about. I mean, I know that we ended up having obviously more than, I think, 4 errors just based on some plays, and so it's unfortunate. It's been a bugaboo for us as the year has gone. Just sucks that it happened in that moment, but it's not an effort thing. It's not a preparation thing. It's just we just have to execute better. As the guys said, they're right. We just, in the moments, we just got to make plays. That's all it is.
Far left side, Austin.
Yeah, Alabama lost a game kind of like this last week in Hoover to Florida late in the game. Coach Jackson had to kind of deal with something like that in a tournament atmosphere. What's the message to the guys kind of going into tomorrow?
My exact message is, guys, I understand it hurts. Everybody's hurting, every single person, and Trojan Nation's hurting because they saw the game over. You have that moment. It's a 1-second deal that anybody that's been involved in sports, I'm sure everyone in here has a team they root for. The ball, it's like in basketball, the ball's in the air, it's a 3, you're down by 2. If it goes in, celebration. If not, so that's a tough thing to overcome. But I'm thinking about our players first and foremost in terms of making sure their head's right and that they pick one another up. Because I think sometimes in these moments, and look, our culture is built on our relationships with our players, but sometimes that we're not the ones that can grasp and we're not the one that's sharing the room with them at the hotel. And so they need to be there for one another, whomever that may be that's struggling for whatever reason. And so I know our guys will do that because that's the foundation of our program. And to be quite frank, that's why we're sitting here.
Stand left side, Drew.
A couple of questions. First one, did you say anything to Tremaine? He had a great ball game at the plate, really, and defensively. I mean, we all thought it was over as well. But what did you say to him in the second part? If you're able to come out of this losing break, talking about the performance of Christian Asbury out of the bullpen, he gave you some extended work.
Yeah, look, Trey has been, and I made mention of this the other day, Trey turned the corner and became a superstar in batting practice here when we had played one night in April, and his confidence has been through the roof. And the biggest thing we just said, we said, hey, man, you got to stay present here in this moment, and his teammates did a superb job of that too. I know it's tough. I know it's tough to take that information in the moment because you hurt so much, but you also hurt because you care. And I can live with guys that care that much. In terms of Christian Asbury, he's been really, really good the last, I guess, 3 to 4 weeks of the year. There's been a lot of alterations and changes we've made with him, which I won't bore you guys with nuances of some pitching things, but he's grasped what we're trying to do and really performed. And I was just glad to see someone like him who's very quiet perform at such a high level in such a great atmosphere.
We have time for a few more questions. Did you have one, Max?
Yeah.
Go back to Max here in front row.
So with it being so close, you guys have those conversations, but how, you mentioned it's not effort, it's not, what it is the 4 hours, is there a thing you can contribute those to, and how do you maybe make sure you guys can lock in tomorrow and avoid them?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys have stat dove into our team. It's been just an issue for us throughout the year, so I don't say that to make it less of an issue for me as a coach. Obviously, the buck stops with me, so we have to find some different things to do. But it's not for preparation every single play or every single shift. I mean, you guys see we've shifted like crazy to put ourselves in positions. We just sometimes just have to, make the play. Maybe there's a little bit more freedom in the body. Maybe they have a different thought process. It's hard to say, but sometimes it just happens, right? Just as well as a guy made a couple plays in the 9th inning for us yesterday, it didn't happen for us today.
Okay, let's go with Joe and then right in the middle and then we'll finish up.
Coach, you're going to end up obviously with Boston College tomorrow. How can you rely on the positive experience from Friday and focus on the game with Boston College and not try to get ahead of yourselves with a rematch with Alabama maybe looming?
Yeah, there's certainly no getting ahead of yourselves. Boston College is the first team not hosting. They're a really good team, and of course that was a battle. And it's certainly not ideal that we haven't, one because of weather and then another because of the finger issue. We haven't had a starter. I don't know. I guess our starters have thrown like 2 innings in this tournament, which is probably the most non-ideal thing for a team that's rather thin to begin with. That being said, nobody cares. We're just going to have to find a way. We'll patch it together. If you followed us last year, our best pitcher was a 6-year senior center fielder and ended up becoming an all-conference guy. So maybe there's going to be some position player tomorrow that pitches. I don't really care. We just have to find a way, and I know that our guys will come to the park against BC to try and do that.
Okay, finish up right in the middle here.
You kind of touched on it, but how are you going to manage the roster for tomorrow? How will you manage the pitching, especially potentially playing a doubleheader?
Not quite sure on that, if I'm being totally honest. But we will figure something out. Maybe we'll pull someone out of the stands. I don't know. No, there's going to be an opportunity for somebody. You look at what Ben Thompson did. Both our John A. Logan boys, Christian Asbury and Ben Thompson, both went to the same junior college, and both those guys were thrust into multi-inning roles, 1 4 2/3, I guess Christian went 4 1/3. So, we were able to get 9 innings out of them in a 2-game setting, and so that's what has to happen in tourney baseball. You look back to when South Carolina won a national championship. Michael Roth had thrown 12 innings before he threw a complete game against Clemson, and so somebody's got to do it. That's why they're on the roster. The 27 guys are more than capable of doing it. It's unfortunate with the weather and with the Ross thing on the finger that guys haven't been able to do more, but it's just an opportunity for somebody else to step up.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank all you guys.